Lincoln.
There it is.
Yeah.
Live and recording.
We are live.
And recording.
And also recording. Yeah. Hello and welcome to episode number 844 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. I am your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from Canada. He's salty. He's sweet. He's eating chips before the recording. He's Mr. Greg Seward.
Hello.
How's it going there, sir?
Not bad, not bad. How's it going with you?
It's going fine.
All right. Good talk.
Just fine. Got a long weekend.
I don't.
So very, very exciting. Yes. And
yeah, I mean,
joining,
it's been a while since you've had any time off. So
this is exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Hello.
Hi there, sir. I see that you're wearing a Moldorama
Oh,
t-shirt, and I am very impressed
isn't that lovely?
and jealous.
No,
Now.
you're envious.
Envious, sorry.
Yes.
Envious.
Yes.
of
I am
your
jealously wearing it
very
because
cool
I know you covet it.
Moldorama t-shirt. Of course, if you live in the Midwest, you probably know what Moldorama is.
That's
I think
right.
We've
Well, we've
explained it
discussed
every
this.
time it comes up on the show.
Yeah.
what's
This was,
Moldorama?
this was a gift from my lovely wife for the holidays.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Moldorama, for those who don't know, is a like wax figurine
With
sort
plastic.
of plastic. Sorry, figurine system that was primarily used in the Midwest, Chicago area, maybe
Mhm.
just the
It-
Chicago area.
It started in the Chicagoland area. I believe Moldorama was started in Brookfield, Illinois.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
I suppose, because one of the ones that I had was the dolphin from the Brookfield Zoo.
Exactly.
So there you go. And they make little. Basically, it's a machine that makes a little plastic figure for you while you wait.
Injection molded plastic souvenir figurines.
Yeah, and it comes out of the machine and it's all warm.
It's warm and it smells a little bit like warm
Cancer?
plastic, and it's
Oh, okay.
Warm plastic.
they're wonderful.
Yeah, they are wonderful.
They're
It's true.
absolutely wonderful.
It's true. All righty. Should we get to the news?
Well, I don't know. Should we?
I think we
You're
should.
running the show, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it. There's going to be an Xbox Bethesda Developer Direct happening
Okay.
on
So,
January
Starfield?
25th.
We're gonna find out when Starfield comes out.
No,
Of course
no,
not.
we are not, because Starfield is such a big release that they have already said that it's going to get its own showcase at a later time
No.
to be announced.
Will they
So-
just be talking about that game on that presentation?
Apparently, yeah.
Okay, so it's not like Starfield and Friends.
Uh-huh.
I don't get it.
No, they got to cut the US Acres stuff. So
Well, that's your first mistake.
Yeah, so they're saying that it will have all the latest on Forza Motorsport, which I know, Stewie, you are potentially interested in.
Yeah.
Minecraft Legends.
Oh, I forgot about that game.
Yeah, that's a thing.
My goodness, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, action
Yeah.
strategy game.
Mm-hmm.
Redfall, little vampire multiplayer game from Arcane, Austin.
Okay.
And the Elder Scrolls Online, which I know both of you care about deeply.
Mhm.
Boy.
Yes.
Can't
The only reason I do this show.
you
Yep.
can't hear enough about the Elder Scrolls Online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
More and
And
more,
Who knows?
those
Maybe
scrolls
more
are becoming contemporaries
Uh-huh.
because.
How many
because
scrolls does Elder Scrolls have, though? Does it have all
Well-
the scrolls, or just?
That's for you to discover on your own.
I guess so.
I think you'll be surprised.
I'm sure that I will.
Mm-hmm.
But at least they said, "Hey, Starfield's not going to be in this one." They have tempered people's expectations just a little bit. So who knows if this presentation is going to have more than just these 4 games? But that's what we know for now. I also wonder if this presentation, they are calling it a developer direct. Does that mean that it's going to follow the Nintendo Direct style? The rumor is that yes, it's going to follow the Nintendo Direct style, where it's just going to be trailers, no live hosts. So should be interesting.
Are they going to get the same narrator? For the
One can only hope.
Yeah.
One can only hope. Hire away some Nintendo employees.
Reggie's going to show up in a big. That's
In
the
a
big
puppet
twist.
version?
Yeah.
Yeah. My body is ready for this Elder Scrolls update. Yeah. All right. Staying on the Microsoft end of things, Microsoft has announced a partnership with Oreo to make cookies and to do some Oreo themed skins for some of their games, including Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5, and my favorite, Sea of Thieves.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oreo and Sea of Thieves.
I know, who would have guessed. However, this is a Europe-only event.
Oh, no.
I know.
So are you now broadcasting from the UK? You've
No.
decorated an identical room.
Well, it wouldn't be that hard. You just have to move the pile from one corner to another.
That's right. But everything's on the other side of the room when I'm in Europe.
Oh, like
What?
they're driving.
Like the driving.
I get it. No, I get it.
Yeah. Boy, that okay.
That didn't go anywhere. Just like me. But yeah, Europe only promotion. Luckily, through the power of technology, the power of the internet, I was able to acquire a code for the Sea of Thieves Oreo boat skin. So now I am rocking an Oreo cookie boat.
Of course you are.
On the seas, which is fantastic. And really, it's, I mean, unless if you didn't know that it was Oreo cookie, you probably wouldn't be able to guess. It's just kind of black and white, and there's a little
Red all over.
sails and a ship hull.
Although, isn't it technically an Oreo biscuit skin?
Oh, I suppose you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Oreo biscuits. Yep.
So the UK,
Digestive. I'm sorry.
I hate everything about this conversation.
the UK codes work in the US, huh?
They do, yes.
Oh, good.
There's no region lock on Xbox codes. I
Okay.
got a Steam code actually for mine, but
Oh, okay. You're doing
there's
it
no
on the-
region locking there either.
I see.
Yeah. So I was able to, through the power of VPN, as they say on the internet, travel virtually to Europe.
Man.
Except I didn't actually do it. It was a friend of mine who got me a code. Yeah.
So why did you need a VPN?
I didn't.
Oh,
But they got it through a VPN. So technically I got it through a
Wait.
VPN.
was the friend who got it for you in another country? That
No.
not the UK?
He's not in the UK. No, he's in the US.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you had some sort of middleman.
I had a middleman. Yeah.
Okay.
I had a cookie mule.
Yeah. Biscuit mule.
Biscuit mule.
Oh my god.
CJ and the Biscuit Mules were my favorite band back in college.
I think we have a show title.
CJ and the Biscuit Mules.
But anyway, they're pretty cool looking skins, and you can find out on the internet how to get one for yourself, or just email my friend.
CJ
Well,
knows a guy.
I know a guy who knows a guy who knows how to use a VPN to get a code. Anyway, speaking of pirate games,
Yeah.
everybody's favorite Ubisoft game, Skull and Bones, has gotten delayed once again. So originally it was supposed to come out back in November, and then they delayed it to March.
Well, originally, when was it supposed to come out? That wasn't
Well,
the
it didn't really
original
have a date.
Yeah.
When
When did they announce this? When was this game announced?
Oh, a long time ago. I played it at E3 2018.
Oh my
Jesus.
goodness.
At
Wow.
the Ubisoft booth. So quite a while ago.
Man,
But it has been delayed again.
that was in the
No new
before
date.
times.
It was in the before times. You're right. You're right. But
Oh,
yeah, it'll be coming at some point, I guess. I wonder if this most recent delay is because the game's not actually done, or they want to get out of the way of everything that's coming out.
I wonder if
in
the
the
most
next,
recent
like,
delay is
2
them trying to
months.
decide whether they want to actually release it.
hmm.
Well, they have to release it because the Singaporean government gave Ubisoft a whole lot of tax incentives to
Oh,
open a studio that has been working on Skull and Bones. So they kind of can't cancel it.
What
They
are
have
those
to put it
incentives
out.
tied to?
It's tied to the release of the
Releasing
game.
something?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
So they can't cancel it. They have to release it. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll play it probably. Yeah. I'll play.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
And they just did a video with like a half hour's worth of gameplay footage. So I think maybe they were still thinking they were on for March and then got delayed. I don't know. But anyway, that's the deal with that. One last story here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, you may have heard of that game,
yes.
is now available on mobile devices via Netflix. So if you are a
I
Netflix
keep forgetting there are
subscriber-
games on Netflix.
Yeah, they have quite a decent library of indie games and some pretty good mobile games too. I believe the what is it, the Downwell creators' latest game, Point P, is on mobile through Netflix, and you can add to that catalog Shredder's Revenge. So you can use on-screen buttons or
how do you play it on mobile? On-screen buttons. Okay.
on-screen buttons.
Ugh.
Or you can attach a mobile controller and play it that way. But it's available for iOS and Android through Netflix games. You have to have a Netflix subscription, but you can download it through the Play Store or the App Store.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
So it's standalone. You don't have to go through like the app or
Standalone.
anything.
No, that's how all the Netflix games work. You can, if you open your Netflix app on your phone and do a search for games, they all come up.
Oh,
Right.
And you can click on those and they bring you out to the App Store to download them and then you can play them
Okay.
there.
Huh.
So, yeah. Not a cloud service or anything like that. But yeah. Check out Shredder's
That's
Revenge.
pretty neat.
Apparently it has everything that the console versions have, including online play and all that. So that's pretty cool.
okay.
Yes. All right. We're done with the news. And now
And that's the end of that chapter.
we move on to what you've been playing. Phil, take that swig of Starry or whatever
I'm
clear
enjoying
soda beverage that is.
a
What the hell is
delicious.
sorry?
Starry.
It is PepsiCo's newest product.
Yeah.
It's their replacement for Sierra Mist.
Yeah.
It just kind
Rebrand.
of tastes like Sierra Mist.
I was gonna say
Yeah. But now
Rebrand.
it's Starry.
it's an
For
interesting
today's
color scheme on the
social
can.
media focused youths.
That's true. Now here's a beverage I can like and subscribe to. I don't know.
Got to ring that bell for notifications.
Smash
So what-
that like button.
What have I been playing this week? Oh, you know what I've been really getting back into these past couple days? I've been really diving back into High on Life. And let me tell you, funny stuff. Oh my gosh. And what a great time. You know, I've had got the long weekend. I can settle down and just relax.
Switch off the news.
Switch off the news and enjoy a great game of High on Life. Boy,
What is
oh
every-
boy.
Why does everything have to suck?
I don't know.
You know, I think I'm done with that game. I think
You're
I
done?
don't think I'm gonna bother finishing that one.
Well, I guess at least you didn't buy it.
That is true. That is
You didn't buy
absolutely
it.
true.
Microsoft bought it
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
I was
Sorry, Microsoft.
I was scheduled to stream that this week.
Whoops.
Like on Thursdays, I stream games that have been requested by people who donate to Extra Life, and just so happened that this week was the week I was going to be playing that game.
Yeah. Not
Schedule
anymore.
change.
we,
Not anymore?
we have one of those womp womp sound effects.
Yeah, scheduling
don't.
change.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Oh boy. You know what though? I actually haven't been playing much this week. If I'm quite honest, I've been playing some more Ys 8. I'm continuing my journey through Ys 8 and continuing to enjoy it quite a bit. So,
I see. You know, I started that game, Phil.
you know what? I was curious about that because the other day, well, yeah, you were last week when I was discussing it on the show,
Mhm.
you were a little more inquisitive than you usually are. It's almost like you were listening to me and paying attention to what I say, which is unusual.
No.
And I
It's
get
something
it.
You're not familiar with when I'm doing my what you've been playing.
I get it. No, you don't have to make excuses. I understand, and I fully support you in
Okay.
ignoring me. You should.
Oh, okay.
But you did seem quite interested in it, more so than I would have imagined. So I was wondering,
Yeah.
is CJ gonna pick this up? So you played some?
I did. I played some. Yes.
Where are you playing it? Or where did you play it? I don't know if you're going to continue doing it.
On PlayStation because
Mhm.
this is a PlayStation Plus game.
Oh, perfect. There you go.
I did not know that. I don't think you knew that either.
I did not.
And-
No.
Yeah. I don't know how I figured out that it was in the library. Maybe I was just scrolling through because you can never tell what's on that service.
No, it's not.
It's just not a good way to
It's
browse.
not well organized.
It is not well organized at all.
But
But
I know you, and I know
no
you love the
secret there.
scrolls.
I do. I love to
So
scroll
you were
down.
scrolling.
Scroll. Yep. And yeah, I downloaded it, played it for a little while. I played through the whole ship thing.
Okay.
Now I'm on land,
Oh, good.
and I am now trying to find survivors from the shipwreck.
Okay. So now the game's actually started.
Started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole ship sequence is just prologue.
Right. Yes. I
So
figured
have you
that.
found anyone yet?
Have I found anyone yet? I found the captain.
Okay. Let me ask you this: do you have
Boat?
anyone else in your party?
I
Or is
do.
it-
Yeah. I have one person in my party.
Okay. Ooh,
Except I think
Guy?
she just left. I think she left.
Okay. Okay, so you got the gal in your party.
Yeah.
'Cause you
the
end up-
one that, of course, like every anime from the 90s, you stumble upon and she's naked. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. you gotta have that gag.
Which I fully appreciated being an anime fan of the 90s.
That's not an ongoing thing as far as I've
I
seen
doubt
so
it.
far. So
No, yeah, but
That's-
it certainly does set a tone in the relationship between
is
you
true.
and the player character
that is true.
Adol and whatever her name is. I don't remember what her name is.
Luxia? I want to say.
I don't know.
I can't remember. Anyway,
But anyway.
are you enjoying it? Are you going to continue?
Yeah, I am enjoying it
Okay.
actually. Yeah,
Okay,
I
good,
really kind of like the gameplay.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I can see why you like it, Phil.
Yeah, it's
It's
a fun
all
little game.
the anime nudity.
Absolutely.
Mm.
That's. I mean, that's why I still keep my PSP around.
Nice.
You can play it in private.
Yes.
In the
Okay.
bathroom.
But yeah, that's really all I've been playing this week.
Hmm.
So not terribly exciting. I've been busy. I don't know if you can see that in the background right there.
I
You notice
can't.
that
Yeah,
right above my shoulder?
Primarily an audio podcast, you're gonna have to
Yeah,
describe.
you're gonna have to explain what that
What
is.
you're pointing
Well,
at.
I'm asking you to. First
I
of all,
see it. Yeah,
that's my big old Ghostbuster Proton pack.
yeah.
It showed up yesterday,
That's awesome.
and I'm
Your
very
very
excited.
own unlicensed nuclear accelerator.
Yeah, exactly, and it's mine.
Yeah.
That was on HasLab,
Yeah,
Hasbro's little kind of Kickstarter program, like
Uh-huh.
a year ago. and they finally started shipping. So
It looks
see.
gigantic.
it is huge.
Mhm.
I mean, it's it's 1/1 scale. It's meant to be like a wearable prop. So
I see.
yeah, so
Hmm.
I was wearing it, running around the house, shooting at ghosts. It's great.
You went out for your morning jog. I'll just strap on the proton pack. Run through the neighborhood.
Oh. And what's great about it is I have the physique to be a Ghostbuster.
Uh-huh.
You know,
There you go. Yeah.
you put me in like an Iron Man outfit. That's not
Come
going to
on,
work.
guys, suck in the guts for the
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Exactly. Middle-aged schlub. I can do that.
Yep. Role you were born to play.
With
right.
nary. I don't even have to dress up to do it. I can just go out as is.
Yep.
So, but yeah, that's I not much game this week. Just a bit
Okay.
ease.
Just a bit of
So-
ease.
Yeah.
By the way, Ease 9 is also on PlayStation Plus.
You mentioned that.
Yeah, so 8
I-
and 9 are there. And
Yes.
the PS4 version's not the PS5,
Right.
obviously.
Well, there is no at the moment. There is no PS5 version of 9.
Okay.
Although I will not be surprised if they do a quickie port at some point,
Yeah.
like they did with 8. So,
Mm.
but yeah, well, I'm glad you're enjoying it at least.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got.
Alrighty. Well, at this point in the show, I would like to say it's almost 6 p.m. Pacific, and the Last of Us television show starts in about 1 minute here. So anyone who's
we're
watching
done?
the live stream, you are free to go.
Oh,
And,
is it go? Is that when it goes
Oh.
up?
They're allowed to leave, but I'm not.
They're allowed to leave. You can't.
They
Sorry.
they put the show up at 6
Ooh.
p.m.
Yeah, HBO does that in general. I remember
That's
that's
weird.
I used to watch Game of Thrones
That same
that
way.
and
Yeah.
that was the same thing. It would go
Oh, okay.
live when it was broadcast.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it goes live with the East Coast feed time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, there we go. Looks like
and that's our show for this week.
Yep. Thanks for watching.
I know what I'm watching tonight. So
Yeah, me too. Apparently, the first episode is like 85 minutes.
Jesus, I guess I'm not watching it tonight.
well, at least it'll be
There you
really
go.
depressing.
Oh,
Since
definitely. Definitely.
It's
It'll
going to be covering the first part of the game. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, maybe it will. Who knows? Maybe they'll do some things in a different order. Maybe they'll mix it up. Who knows? Anyway.
you're going to save that for the last episode.
That's right. We're doing it in reverse. Yeah.
Hurt yourself that way.
What's that?
Nothing.
All right, so I've been playing some video games this week. I went back to the Callisto Protocol.
Whoa.
Why?
In part because a Dead Space trailer dropped, and I was like, you know what? I want to go back and try to finish the Callisto Protocol, and I did. I
Ooh,
Wow.
finished the
Wow.
Callisto Protocol
Okay.
Why?
because I don't find it as terrible as you do. Apparently,
But why?
He's got a point.
I didn't get stuck at the security robots that you had to shoot in the head. So yeah, that's yep.
It's fair.
Continued playing on easy, of course.
Mhm.
But yeah, I ended up finishing it. I made a grievous error while playing the game
General
that I only
grievous error?
realized on picking it up the second time here. In the game, they give you these parts of things, the collectibles that you're supposed to sell at Weapon Forge for credits that you can use to purchase upgrades to your weapons.
Mhm.
Apparently, I didn't realize that you can sell that you were supposed to. Their only purpose in the game is to sell at those forges, and I was maybe like a third of the way through the game. I was like, damn, like my inventory is always full. Like, what's the deal? Like, how long am I going to have to carry these through the game? And then I read the item descriptions where they say you should sell these at
You're
the
so
forge.
pretty.
So once I did that, I was able to afford some of the more expensive weapon upgrades. which is quite nice.
Oh, all right.
They help quite a bit. But yeah, I have enjoyed my time with the game. It was, a little disappointing that they didn't do enough with that sort of psychic, like force pull and push thing that you get. I don't think they did enough with it, because in Dead Space, you could do a lot with that sort of power. Like you upgrade it to stop time and freeze enemies, and you can really do some damage by throwing projectiles that way. This one, I mean, it doesn't do as much of that, and not as well as Dead Space did.
It doesn't do anything as well as Dead Space did, in my
No.
opinion.
Well,
It's trying.
it does try. The other thing I found later in the game is they throw you in these scenarios where you have 4 or 5, 6 enemies to deal with at the same time, and there are some boss encounters too where I found it very difficult to like turn and run. Like you can never, like I wanted to turn and run and regroup, and I just like couldn't do that. So it ended up being that I just had to use the dodge and weave of the game mechanic and try to like not back myself into a corner doing that. And then that started to work out. But anytime I like turned around and started running, nope, that's like instant death.
Yeah, I mean not being able to disengage and regroup, as you just put it, was I think my main issue with the combat in general, and I just never got over it. I never pushed to get over it.
It kind of doesn't want you to. It kind of wants you to just deal with what's in front of you and use that little like
and I hate
the psychic power that you have to like push enemies away instead of running away and regrouping. So that was a little disappointing. And then they like reuse the same mini boss like 3 times in the game, and it's not a very fun encounter. And they just don't have like really nice set pieces for bosses. Like in Dead Space, I felt like they had some nice like setups where the environment like played a part in the boss encounter. That's not present here. But I did enjoy my time with it, and it's only about 10-12 hours long, which is like perfect length for me to actually finish game. So I was happy with that. And they do have some neat environments that you end up walking through. But yeah, apparently it's not doing too well for its publisher, who expected it to sell like 5 million copies.
Well, I mean, I don't feel like that's surprising, because I mean, you went back and finished it, but I think for the most part, it's pretty fundamentally broken. A mixture of, I think, the systems that they do have not necessarily functioning the way they should, and I think at an even more fundamental level, just they aren't designed very well to begin with. So, like that punch out style dodging, I still feel like when you get into a group of enemies, it doesn't work. And the problem is that the way it's implemented, it doesn't even work properly anyway. So it just, it's not surprising.
I think it would be better if you could disengage and run away and regroup.
Absolutely. Or at least give you something for crowd control.
You can do some things for crowd control, but oftentimes that stuff's not as effective as it should be.
Right.
Which is disappointing. But I mean, I like the base mechanics. I like the melee focused combat. Once I started using block more, that helped quite a bit. And then I upgraded my block so that it didn't do as much damage, and I think it even did damage to the enemy that was attacking me.
Oh, that's nice.
I think, pretty sure. And then I upgraded my wrench or baton or whatever it is, so that even if enemies are blocking me, it does a fair bit of damage and potentially like breaks their arm.
Okay.
So yeah, I had fun with it, but apparently it's not
didn't
selling,
CJ.
Not selling very well. But I'm excited for Dead Space. Bring on Dead Space.
Yeah,
now I can clear off Callisto Protocol. Bring on Dead Space, which I'm still quite excited about.
Yeah, for sure.
I also finished Stray.
Oh,
So Stray, came out last July. I played a whole bunch of it.
Mhm.
Stopped for some reason. Something else probably came out, and or it was a new Fortnite
Fortnite
season or
Zero Build.
something.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I put it down and then came back to it and finished it up today. That is a really fun, chill game that
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of a backlash going on around it
Oh,
just
really?
because it won so many awards. But I think it's still a pretty fun game. Pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
I barely remember it at this point.
Yeah, the sort of end sequence in the jail where you're breaking in somebody out of jail. Remember that? That was pretty fun.
No,
No, apparently wasn't memorable.
I don't remember that at
Oh.
all. I remember being like the big office area, where
Office area.
you see clearly fresh in your mind. As you get near the top of like the you're looking down over the city or over the
Yes.
different areas, the different communities.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
the very
remember,
end of the game.
yeah, I know that. I
Yeah.
know that's
The
what I
very
mean.
end, right after the
Mm.
jail.
Yes. I'm trying to relate, CJ. I'm trying to give you
Okay.
something.
Yes. Well, anyway, I
You're the worst.
ended up having fun with it and can move that off my backlog now and
Congratulations.
replace it with Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh,
Interesting.
No, I started the trial of Cyberpunk 2077.
Okay.
That is not legal action from gamers against CD Projekt Red for the release date that the game was originally put out in. It is a PlayStation Plus trial. You can play for 5 hours.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I
downloaded
get it. You were just making a joke.
It was
I
tempting.
did not connect those
Did
dots
not
at
connect
all.
it.
Because honestly, because the idea of a class action lawsuit against a company for putting out a game that people feel is broken is so plausible.
Well,
that
wasn't there a class action
I don't know.
lawsuit?
Was there?
I'm sure there was.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was. But that's not important now. What is important is that it's up on PlayStation Plus as a 5-hour trial. And so I
Yes.
started the game and I appreciate it for one aspect in particular. And that is it has like a dotted line on the mini map. Okay, like this is exactly where you're supposed to go next.
was it like a family circus cartoon?
Yes.
To show
exactly
where
like
all
that.
where little
Exactly.
Billy has been all through this
Wow.
This-
That's a
cyberpunk
deep
This-
cut.
dystopia.
Very deep cut.
Yeah,
I remember. I now that you've brought that up, I do remember those Family Circus cartoons.
there you
But
go.
I could never have. I would never have thought of that.
Well, you got to
Wow.
join the family circus verse.
Mhm.
Well, I appreciate in an open world game, and it might just be in the beginning that they do this. I don't know, and I think you can turn all that off if you want. But I do appreciate it as somebody who wants to casually play,
Mm.
have an arrow and icons like this is where you go next, and then
Somebody who wants to cheat themselves and the game.
exactly give me exactly where the next checkpoint is, which is very unlike the Callisto Protocol, which had absolutely none of that.
True.
And you couldn't even bring up a map in that game. But one thing I did appreciate very much about the Callisto Protocol, coming back to it a month later, it has a menu option that is tutorial. It says tutorials, and they tell you what the function of basically everything in the game was. Where
Ah.
when I went back to Stray, I couldn't figure out how to run, and in the option menu there was no way to like display the controller and show you all the controls.
Hmm.
So I had to look up, I had to Google, how do I run in Stray? Because they taught me that at the beginning of the game. And then I put it down for 6 months, came back to it, couldn't remember.
How do you run?
You hold down R2,
I see.
which I had pressed R2, but it wasn't doing anything immediately. Like there's a run, there's a
Oh,
build
because
up
he has
the
to build
run.
up the momentum. Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's how creatures run.
Yeah. Anyway, but Cyberpunk 2077, yes, appreciate the fact that it's pointing me in the right direction for everything. I suck at gunplay in
Me too.
games like this. Like I'm trying to shoot, and it's just the gun is spraying all over the place.
The safest person is
Mm.
in the room is the person I'm shooting at.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the same way in that because I played some of that trial, and that was my big thing. It's just like I'm so bad at this
Yeah.
that I just
I'm shooting, but the
whatever.
recoil is just like,
Yeah.
shooting up the wall.
Oh,
Not my target. But anyway, it seems enjoyable though. No, I have to keep playing, but hey, 5-hour trial. I'll give it a shot. And then I also tried the One Piece Odyssey demo,
This is the RPG.
the RPG. Yeah, and I actually think it looks pretty nice
Oh,
for a licensed RPG. But this is totally not my style of game. There's too much RPG in it. Too much
too much RPG in that RPG.
too much
Genre.
RPG in that RPG. No, it's like a turn-based battle system, but there's
Awesome.
also like positioning that impacts stuff, and there's also a rock paper scissors mechanic, and there's all this stuff, and I'm
Ooh.
just like, I don't really.
I really like those Madden games, except for all that football they expect you to play in them.
I don't have time for this. Yeah. So, I mean, I wasn't going to pick it up anyway, but tried the demo. It's not for me, but hey, it looks cool.
Okay.
And anyway, that is what I've been playing. So, Greg, what do you
Hi.
got for us? Hello.
I haven't really been playing much this. Well, I'm playing one thing for an upcoming episode of Games My Mom Found, so I'm not going to talk about that because I'm going to talk about it on that show. But, excuse me. Otherwise, really, the only new thing that I was playing this week, well, new to me, was Valis, the first Valis.
Oh,
So this is again, I mentioned earlier how on Thursdays I play games that have been requested by Extra Life donors, and one of my donors had requested the first Valis game.
wow.
Now that game did come out on the Genesis,
Yep.
but boy was that version bad. I'd forgotten how bad it was actually because I was going to test to make sure I had something to play, some version of it to play. And yeah, I played probably about 10 minutes of the Genesis game, and it just wasn't good. So then I thought, oh, well, maybe I have the TurboGrafx game, only to find out, and I'm sure I knew this at some point. The first Valis never came here.
That is
It was
true.
never localized. It
Yep.
did get released on the PC Engine CD, but it was never localized for here.
Just 2 and 3.
Right, because and see, I didn't know this, although I'm sure I would have if I bothered to look into it. But I always remembered how on the Genesis, Valis 3 came out,
Mhm.
and then Valis 1 came out.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I had a couple of one of the people who actually requested the game. I had a couple super fans in the chat, and I was saying like, why didn't the first one come out, but they localized 2 and 3? Well, because the first one came out after 2 and 3, even on the PC Engine. Because it was apparently a remake of the old, I think it was a 68,000 game or a PC 98 or something like that.
One of those, yeah.
One of the old Japanese computers, which I do remember because I did play that and get some footage for Generation 16 at one point when I was talking about Telenet and all their different sort of game studios that were under that umbrella. But I knew the first Valis was one of those games, but I just always made the assumption that the first game was the one that came to the PC Engine first. But no, it was actually released very late on the PC Engine, and I think it was using the Valis 4 engine. So anyway, that's a long way of saying that I ended up getting the re-release that just came out on the Switch.
Yeah.
It was part of the collection. I didn't buy the whole collection because I like Valis. I'm not a particular Valis fan. So, it's like it was $15 for the first game. I was like, sure, why not? It's the only one of them that I don't own in some form. Actually, I do own the Genesis version, but that sucks. So, yeah, I played through it, quote unquote. I was using save states to get through it.
Yeah.
That game gets brutal at the end.
Mhm.
Where they just put you in this area that the enemies are coming at you from so many different directions, and it's just so easy to die and lose your power up, and you're just kind of screwed at that point.
It's like Callisto Protocol all over again.
Right. So, I mean, you know, I don't have a whole lot to say, but there were some very pretty moments in that game for sure. Man, the anime cutscenes though, lengthy and frequent.
Yeah.
And very, like, kind of what you said, like very 80s or 90s anime, where, you know, of course you end up having to kill your best friend, and then in her death scene was so funny. The death scene just goes on and on and on, and at one point, because they're both Valis and I forget her name, but they were schoolmates,
Right.
so you actually meet her very early on, and then everything happens, and you end up fighting her and killing her, and they're having like this lengthy conversation while she's dying. And at one point, they start talking about their parents, like just out of left field. She goes, "Are your parents still together?" And I'm like, "What?" And it goes into this lengthy explanation about how unhappy she was with her home life and her parents. And that's what I said. It's like, this is such an anime death scene.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, it was okay. It was all right. I prefer Valis 3, but I played through Valis this week. So that was the thing that happened.
Yeah, the Valis games are not particularly good.
No,
but I do
They're
have fond memories of them. So
same. I mean, I have a soft spot for that series almost entirely because of Valis 3. I didn't have a TurboGrafx CD. I knew about those games because of reading in magazines, you know.
Right.
But I remember Valis 3 coming out on the Genesis as cartridge, but it also had sort of lengthy cutscenes, and a big sucker for, you know, again, sort of the 90s anime. You know, the characters all have the ridiculous armor with the giant shoulder pads, and
Right.
the enemies have, it reminds me a lot of like the main enemy in like Ninja Gaiden. Jackweo has just this really overwrought headgear, and you know, and it's like, yeah, this is definitely speaking to me back when I rented it when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
So, and even then, like, Valis 3 was an okay game. I don't remember loving it, but I remember being so impressed by the cutscenes, even on the cartridge.
Right.
So it's that really spoke to me. And yeah, CJ's best friend Mike is in the chat saying avoid the last official Valis game. Yes, because Valis ended up going sort of soft core porn.
Yeah.
Once we got past Valis 4, so
it turned into some
like
company
digital
got a hold
novels,
of the
I think,
rights
right?
and started making visual novels.
Yeah,
of a certain ilk.
I don't know why you'd want to avoid that, but it definitely isn't the same as definitely isn't the same as the first 4 games. But anyway, that was the only new thing that I was playing this week. Well, new to me.
Right.
It's going to be my 2023 game of the year.
Oh yeah, nice.
It's in the running. This is the only one of the things I played this year.
All right. Well, I guess that means it's time for tweets.
Tweedledee, tweedledee, tweet, 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 oh, tweedle, 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 tweet. Come on, we're gonna have them tweets. So come on, people lining up across the street for them. A tweedly tweet, tweet, a tweet, a tweet. So come on, look at me and my stinky feet. We got people.
Got the extended mix. The tweets.
Tweedly tweets.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is not the radio edit. For sure. All right. So let's do this one from a hacker alias I finally watched, who said, in honor of Phil's birthday.
Oh.
Which, by the way, happy birthday, Phil.
Oh yeah, thanks.
I said happy birthday.
Philip, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Philip.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Yeah.
I am now
old.
What is this?
48?
This is 2023?
It is.
Yes.
And yes. 48. I'm 48.
God damn.
I think I am officially pushing 50 at this point.
Yeah, that's what they would say.
I think
Don't push too hard, because somebody your age, you could really.
Oh no, yeah, that's
hurt something.
There's damage that can be done easily.
Yeah.
So.
Mike says in the chat, "Where's the Mastodon version of the tweet song?"
Yeah, that's right. What are they called?
Toots.
Toots. Man, Phil could have a field day with that song. Hang on.
Oh, tootin' with the.
Yeah, I was
we're
gonna say, I was
tootin' with
expecting you to stand up and just put your butt on the microphone.
every.
Oh, anyway.
Come to Mastodon and toot, and then we'll. While we poot.
All right. Back to I finally watched.
Oh, yeah. What was this?
Question. In honor of Phil's birthday, I'd like to know what his favorite Commodore 64 game is and why his co-hosts refuse to acknowledge the best game system ever is, in fact, the Commodore 64.
True, but anyway.
Look, I love the Commodore 64, but come on. Let's not go nuts here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never had a C64. Sorry.
Well, I know you guys didn't.
Yeah.
Because you
My parents
missed
weren't
out.
rich.
It can't be the best if I didn't play
Yeah.
it.
My favorite Commodore 64 game.
School days.
I mean, that's my gut answer.
Hmm.
If you say what's your favorite Commodore 64 game, the first one that pops to mind is indeed School Days, DAZE,
Mhm.
which, I mean, I haven't talked about it on the show for years and years, but talked about it plenty ages ago. It was kind of like an early prototype version of Bully, because you were a young punk. You were a ne'er-do-well student in like a little British school, and you'd go around the school, and the bells would ring. You'd have to attend classes, or else teachers would start roaming the halls looking for you. But this was all taking place like in a side view perspective.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could get a slingshot and like use it to attack the other students, or you'd go into a classroom and there'd be like 5 seats that you'd have to sit in during class time, but like 6 students would be in the room.
Oh no.
So students would be like, if you sat down in someone else's chair, you'd knock the other student out of the chair.
This is sounding more and more like a Roblox game.
And if the teacher turns around and sees you like knocked out of your seat, you'd get yelled at. And they would make you the punishment system whenever you did something bad. Well, whenever you were caught doing something bad, was you would get lines, and it's like oh, you got to write 50 lines that says I will not run through the hallway or whatever. And once you accumulated enough lines, you got kicked out of school, and the game was over.
I see.
Yes. But that was a great game. And years ago, there was some like fan remake of it.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, it came out. I think it was called Back. I think it was just called Back to School. And by the way, School Days, DAZE, yes. But school, I believe, was SKOOL.
Oh, really? Oh.
So, you're a troublemaker. You can't spell. And I think the remake was maybe called Back to School. And they did like kind of a quickie port of it to like a GBA. And it was quite good. It was quite good, but yeah. Boy, I love the Commodore 64. Got to get Cameron Davis on the show so he and I can talk.
Nerd out over it.
Commodore 64, yeah.
All right.
Talk about trolls and tribulations and apple cider spider and
Phil, in all seriousness, do you ever read Retro Gamer magazine?
Oh yeah, I love Retro Gamer.
Okay, because they cover a lot of C64 stuff.
They do.
There you go. All right. Hacker alias BT Agagi says, "Hello all. Happy birthday, Phil. My name is Lance, and I was thinking about getting Atari 50, mainly for Yar's Revenge. I'm wondering if there's much difference between the enhanced version and Recharged. Have you played?
I haven't.
Yar's Revenge?
I haven't. Well, I haven't played the new Yar's Revenge yet.
Okay. Oh, okay. On Atari 50, you haven't played.
No, I have not played the Atari 50 Yar's Revenge yet. And I played some of the other remake. Like I played the new Haunted House.
Yeah.
That was on there, and I played the new. I forget what it's called, but there's one that's kind of like Combat that I played.
Yep.
And
I think isn't it Combat Evolved or something like that?
is it just that I forget
I
it
forget
might
the
just be
stuff.
that, but
Yeah,
and what Vector Sector,
Vector Sector.
which is fantastic.
Hmm.
But I have not played the new version of Yar's Revenge that's on there.
I have, but I wasn't really a fan of Yar's Revenge back in the day because we didn't have
Really?
2600.
Oh,
so
man.
never really played it.
I had a 2600, and I'm not a huge fan of Yar's Revenge either.
Really?
No.
Yeah,
Why am I on a show with
Just
the two weirdos?
Just never done anything for me.
I tried playing the evolved version,
Yeah.
and I was getting the hang of it a little bit, but it seems to me it's not so much remake as it is kind of a skin on top of the old game. So you can swap between the classic and new visuals, but it is very much the old game. It's not like they added new stuff
Right.
to it. So I guess if that's what you are interested in, then it might be good. But yeah, did you
I do
hear, by
need
the
to
way,
play that.
Atari 50 getting an update at some point where you can play Tempest 2000 in 60 frames per second mode?
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Very excited about that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Coming soon ish.
A game that can't be bleat.
Okay.
The whole yak thing.
Yep.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah. So Coffin Colors sent us a question for Greg. I don't really get what he's saying.
I do.
It's probably some racing thing. You want to read it?
I
It's in
guess.
the outline.
Is that how much you don't understand it, CJ?
He's-
that
you know
can't
what? No,
even
you know what
read
it is? I'll
I
tell you
don't.
exactly why CJ doesn't want to read it.
Tell me
He
what it
doesn't-
is.
He doesn't know how to pronounce Villeneuve.
That's right.
Ah, I see.
Or Villeneuve is probably how you should actually pronounce it.
You're
Okay.
right. You're right.
Villeneuve, of course, being the last name of the two best Canadian F1 drivers. Gilles
Obviously.
Villeneuve in the 70s, who was killed in the early 80s, and then his son Jacques, who actually won a championship in 1997. The only time a Canadian won the F1 championship.
I see.
He's calling me Greg Villeneuve, which sure, okay. He's saying he's been eyeing the T300 RSGT, T248, and Fanatics GT-DD Pro. Guys following so far?
I understand. Yes.
Okay. What's your preference when it comes to racing games these days? If familiar, thoughts on any of those wheels? So those are all wheels. Those are all different racing wheels you can buy for your, I think, they're all compatible with PlayStation 4 and 5.
Wheels work best when they're round.
Yep.
Get the roundest one.
Yeah.
Not necessarily steering wheel, though. The round steering wheel is not necessarily.
Oh, we're not talking like tires. We're talking
We're
about
talking
wheels.
about steering wheels.
Like
Yeah.
You
steering
want a
wheels.
yoke.
Oh, okay.
A yoke? That's
No,
not,
you don't want a
that's flight.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Or eggs.
I do not have any experience with the three wheels you're asking about. Because here's the thing. Racing wheels are really expensive.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you followed the show for a while, I'm cheap. So, proudly so. So I have a Logitech G29, which is an older, they actually have a newer version of those. I forget exactly what it's called. The one I have is the one that's compatible with the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. The group that I race with on the Player One League which we're actually getting ready to start up again next week in Gran Turismo 7, a lot of them bought the Fanatic wheel. And they all seem to really like it. I mean, if you're in Canada, it's going to cost you like $1,000
Ooh.
to get it. Yeah, they're not cheap. That's what I'm saying. That's the most expensive option of the three that were mentioned there. But the people I know who run that wheel love it. And I'm not surprised. I mean, when I first started getting into sim racing, I bought a Fanatic setup as well. And it was amazing. It was really great. But what happened was that the wheel that I had when we moved to Xbox One and PlayStation 4, it wasn't compatible with them anymore. And where they're so expensive, it just felt like I'd spent a ton of money for something that I couldn't use the way I wanted to. I could still use it on PC, but I like to race on console. So I ended up buying a G29 because it was a lot cheaper, and I like Logitech stuff. And I mean, I've got thousands of miles on that thing. It's actually sitting right here behind me. Right now.
Aha.
And I'm very happy with it. But yeah, I mean, of the three you've mentioned, the only one that I have any even tiny bit of experience with, and it's only via people that I race with, is the Fanatic wheel, and they all seem to love it. So if you want to spend that money, you can't go wrong with Fanatic. They make good stuff. So if you're willing to spend the cash on it, you get what you pay for, right? So yeah. And yes, it's Villeneuve, CJ, for future reference.
Villeneuve.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Villeneuve.
No, that second one was bad.
Villeneuve. Villeneuve.
Okay.
Nueves.
Villeneuves.
All right. Let's do this one from listener Remy, who has sent us a toot.
Ooh.
Very long time listener, first time tutor.
Mm-hmm.
Now that most of you guys are well into bullet heaven, have you considered getting into bullet hell?
Nope.
Some of the recent cave shmup ports on Switch and PC have good novice modes that are good introductions. If you think that the dopamine rush that Vampire Survivors gives you is good, let me tell you about successfully dodging millions of slow bullets on the best music you've ever heard.
Nah.
Yeah.
No.
I've tried
really
bullet hell shooters in the past, and
I've tried it
yeah.
too.
Yeah, so have I.
can't
Multiple
do it.
times.
Yeah, can't do it.
The closest I've gotten
Radius.
is the closest I've gotten is like a Radiant Silver Gun,
Yeah.
which isn't crazy bullet hell, but there are moments that feel similar.
For sure. For sure. And for shooters, I don't tread too far past Gradius.
Right.
A series that I really enjoy.
The thing that I don't enjoy about bullet hell shooters is that I'm only ever focusing on just like my ship and what is immediately around it, and just trying to weave my way through. Like, I don't get to experience the whole game, the whole, I don't like, if I come to a boss, what did the boss look like? I don't know. I was just looking at the little stream of bullets right in front of my ship.
That's true.
There may not have even been anything there. I don't know. I'm not looking at that. I can't look at that. Because
I feel the same way.
If I take my attention even slightly away from what is immediately about to hit my ship, I'm going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not fun for me.
Yeah.
I get the appeal.
Absolutely.
I absolutely get the appeal. But it does not appeal to me.
That's right.
No.
Everything he just said.
Yes.
No.
All right. Listener Angelo says, I never got into any of the Soulsborne games when the series first started. They seemed way too hard for me to really enjoy. In the last year, I've completed all of them except for Dark Souls 2, which I'm working on now. I can say that I rank them among my favorite experiences. Are there any games that you thought you would not like and now really enjoy?
Vampire Saviors.
Survivors.
That's what I said.
Don't even know the name.
It rolls off the tongue because of the old Capcom game. Vampire Survivors, yes.
Vampire Survivors.
Yeah.
Okay.
The big one for me is always going to be Crackdown.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That game we all bought because we wanted the Halo demo.
Well,
and it's like, oh, wait.
I didn't even want it for that.
This is really good.
Yeah.
No.
I just bought it because you guys were talking about it, and I was like, that sounds good.
And the rest of us bought for
the demo came out, and the demo was so good. It was like, well, now I'm really excited about this game for reasons other than the Halo demo.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame about the sequels, but the first game was great.
I finished Crackdown 3.
Did you?
It was enjoyable.
You finished a lot of weird games.
I didn't think Crackdown 3 was bad.
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
It was more of the first game.
Fine.
It was more of the first game, which is kind of actually what I wanted.
Yeah. Now 2 was not good.
Yeah.
But
no. 3.
Yeah, I like 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of anything. I've tried the Dark Souls games also. I've tried all of them and I never get too far in them. Yeah, it's the combat. I can't parry worth a shit. I think that's
Language.
part of it.
Gosh.
Well, we gotta up the language because people are gonna be used to The Last of Us now, the TV show. So we gotta use more swearing.
Are we
Really?
past the threshold where YouTube will start?
Oh
Start
yeah,
pinging us?
it's the first 8 minutes, right?
I don't know.
I think it is the first 8 minutes, but we're not a monetized channel anyway, so
We don't have to worry about COPA compliance.
we don't have to worry about that.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why are we?
I don't know.
Because CJ doesn't like to make money.
No, it's something that the way the channel is set up, it's attached. I don't want to go into it, but it's
Okay.
it's tied into some Google things that
Sounds like you're leaving money on the table, but what do I know?
I mean, of course I am.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's finish up with this one from Semi Fracky, who said, is CJ playing Worm Game on his Logitech G Cloud before Stadia turns off this week?
Yeah, I don't understand this. Why would they release that and just
Now.
make it so that it's only going to be available for like a week or two and then that's done?
Hmm.
Not even a week because it shuts off this
That's
week.
dumb.
But this was the Worm Game was the game that they were testing the service with. So it was
Oh.
like an internal sort of test tool, and they decided to put it out on the service on Stadia. I have not played it, and I wonder if I can probably download it. I mean, I have a Stadia account, but you can no longer like add games to your library. So, well, I suppose you can add this one, but I have not played it yet. I liked Stadia. I mean, it was very flawed, but cloud gaming, I feel like, is just now really getting interesting. So, oh well. Google will eventually figure out they exited too early. They were too early to enter and too early to exit.
Speaking as a Sega fan, I know how you feel.
Yeah. All right. Is that it?
I
Is that the
guess.
end?
I feel like it has to be.
I think that's the end. Alrighty, and that is our episode for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitter. Or we also have a Mastodon social account. That's also @P1 Podcast. And because Twitter has decided to shut down third-party applications, I'm sort of not on Twitter as much as I used to be because the application that I was using to browse it is dead, effectively. So that's a lot of fun. But I'm still reading P1 Podcast stuff. So if you want to send that, that's cool. Or also, I'm on Mastodon. The show's on Mastodon. Leave us something on Mastodon. We also have a website, player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward.
When they happen.
Thumbs up on that. Yes, when they happen. You'll also find Generation 16 episodes, which there was a new one not too long ago covering the Sega Genesis Mini 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Exciting.
performing pretty well too. Go watch it.
Excellent. Yes,
What'd
go
you think
watch it.
What do you think of it, CJ?
I gave it 3 thumbs up.
Nice. I didn't know
And
that.
I
was possible.
wholeheartedly agree with your rankings of the games.
Do you know?
I wholeheartedly
You, sir, are
endorse
full of shit.
this product or service.
I watched it, Greg.
I know you did, Phil. I know you watched them.
I do.
Yeah,
I watch all your videos
there you go.
That's a true friend.
like a friend would.
I'm a true friend.
Yeah.
All right. What else do I say on this? Oh, yeah. Our website also has show notes and links to all the things that we talked about on the show, and a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting playeronepodcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Stitcher Radio. We're on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our shows on the youtubes.com/P1 Podcast, or you can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the Twitch.televisions, not the Mastodons though, right?
No.
Not yet.
No,
not yet.
sorry, tutors. But
Blow it out your tutors.
he means bungholes. If you want to watch us live, just follow our Twitter or Mastodon account, I guess, to find out when we're doing our next live show. Typically, it is Sunday nights at 5:30 specific time. So join us, won't you? And I'll tell you what, if you like what you've heard, and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1 Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. CJ has so many British biscuits to import so he can get boat decor. So won't you support him
I
in
already
that?
got my boat decor. I already got it.
But
I don't
I'm
need
sure
the cookies.
I'm sure you have all the alt accounts where you play in secret, so
Oh yeah, I got plenty of that.
we don't see your real amount of time played.
No, I
How many
think you do
thousands-
actually.
Huh?
You do. You do see my amount of time played. Yeah.
How many thousands of hours into Sea of Thieves are you at this point?
Oh, I think easily 4,000.
Goodness gracious.
I have not been playing as much recently, so
Well, now you have Mistress Fortnite to
I know. Yeah.
steal your
Fortnite.
attention. No, I get it.
Stolen.
I get it.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yes.
absolutely true.
No, but you know what? Your Patreon funds help support our show. It keeps us streaming and all those costs that come with running a show. So I'll tell you what though, if you want to help us out, if you are a Patreon supporter of the $5 tier,
Cheap.
you gain access to a special weekly bonus episode that we record right after this. We're going to put off watching Last of Us so we can record it right after this, where we play games crack-wise, having fun, doing all the stuff we can't do on the regular show. CJ, do we have a game for this week?
We do, Phil. We have an 8-bit Jeopardy game.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting.
Now, I don't want to mess things up for us here, but I think we can do pretty well at this.
Possible.
8-bit stuff?
8-bit encapsulates a lot of things.
That's true.
That's true. It does. It's all about the Atari 400 and 800 computers.
Exactly. That's kind of what I was getting at. Speaking of which, actually, I want to say real quick,
Yeah.
I was on a Twitch channel this past week called Chronologically Gaming. And CJ, I'll send you the link to that. So this guy is going on 1 hour a night every weeknight, and he's playing through. He's got basically a bunch of emulators set up, and he's playing through every video game chronologically. Every video game that'll run an emulator.
Ever?
I mean, he's not playing through them, but he's trying them all out. Basically,
Every game.
it's pretty neat. Yeah. So he had me on earlier this week. And the reason I'm thinking about this is because we ended up playing the Atari computer version of Asteroids.
Oh,
Which was really good. It
really?
was really good. There was a co-op mode.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
And a combat mode as well.
Okay.
And way, way, way better than the 2600 version, which I also enjoyed. But
Sure.
2600 version was pretty rough. You could play it on Atari 50. But
He's trying to play through every game.
No, he's not playing through them.
But, I
He's
mean,
trying them all out.
but
Yeah.
every game.
Every game.
How many games are there? Total.
Lots.
How long until he's burnt?
Who knows? But I mean, he
Yeah.
started with
Oh.
games that were released in 1971.
Okay.
And we were in like 1982 this past week.
Okay.
Nice.
My goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and he's a really nice guy. Yeah, it's a cool channel, and he's got
best
some
of luck.
people. He's got some people in his chat that are pretty well versed in some of the systems he's playing, especially like the Atari computers and stuff, the 8-bit
Oh, yeah?
computers. It's pretty neat. It's a pretty cool
Cool.
channel to hang out in.
My goodness.
Mm,
I mean, that is a grandiose goal.
absolutely.
My gosh. Okay. Good luck. And
But anyway, we have an 8-bit
Sorry, I
Jeopardy quiz.
derailed
The
we have an
F-
8-bit Jeopardy quiz.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good. That's good.
possibly.
And I'll tell you what, if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to patreon.com/Greg Seward to help support Greg's outstanding, and it is outstanding web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Phil. And if
Oh,
you are
yeah.
a supporter of the $5 variety,
Also cheap.
you get access to the Weekly Commute, which is a weekly vlog series that I film from the comfort of my home, not driving around in a car because Phil yells at me every time I do that.
That would be dangerous.
Where I talk about I see we have someone waving off screen there.
Yeah, that's my kid who decided to wave in. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Good. He's just hanging out watching the end of the
Okay.
show.
It's a weekly vlog series where I talk about what I'm working on, the different videos I'm working on, and sort of anything else that comes to mind. What I really think about Phil and CJ,
Oh yeah.
how to fix the economy, and what's wrong with the healthcare system. All that stuff. Come check it out, and please consider supporting the show because the money that you use to support the show, I actually do put towards the show. This month, I actually used the money from the patrons to help pay to translate an article that CJ
yeah.
helped me to obtain from the Japanese Diet Library, I think it's called. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah.
The
So,
National
stuff like
Diet
that.
Library.
National Diet Library. So stuff like that. I do put it back into the show. So I really appreciate all the
Nice.
support you give.
Fantastic. I look forward to watching that episode, Greg.
Thank you, Phil.
Unlike some
look forward
people.
to
Me as well.
Mm. That it then?
That's it.
That's it.
CJ.
Yes, Phil.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil.
Oh, of course. Gregory.
Yo.
Thank you as well.
Thank you, Philip.
Oh, absolutely. And a big old thank you to you. For wonderful, wonderful listeners. Every single one of you, but especially you.
You know who you are.
Oh, yeah. See, even Finn agrees. There he goes. Remember, as always, take care of yourself, your loved one, your family, your friends. Do what you got to do to be safe. And we hope that we'll see you next week. Well, I mean, we won't see you. We're a podcast. We're an audio podcast, but we
We
hope
only see you in our dreams. We don't actually see you.
that's true.
Yeah.
We hope to see you in our dreams.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds weird.
But true.
We hope you're here next week, folks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.